is that you guys have such like a great energy that like the next wedding we went to, we were like, okay, we had to have like way better energy because you guys were like hyping everybody up the whole time. And I don't know, like, not that we don't do that, but we like, you guys made the day. And I really do think it was you guys. Like, there's so much stuff going on, like, made it so relaxed and like made us comfortable.
Hmm.
And so I strive to be like that.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Creative Crunch podcast. Yes, we have been gone for quite some time, but we've been busy. We've been doing stuff. We've been filming weddings and yeah. So it's been, what, half a year since we posted last? Maybe longer?
I think it was like May. It was like May or something.
So we're pushing half a year, if not going
And then
past
the
half a
the
year.
last one was Where Have We Been? So like this is even longer than that.
Each one's going to be where have we been. But yeah, so welcome back. It's Creative Crunch Podcast. We're not gone. We're still here. And today we have a very special podcast. We are here with our good friends, Hannah and Logan Belzer, recently married. Used to be Hannah Stewart and Logan Belzer, but now they are the Belzers, but also known as H Creation Films. And it's a unique situation too, because Ben and I actually filmed their wedding, so we thought it'd be fun to bring them on, kind of talk a little bit about that process, talk about their careers with filming weddings. So yeah, you just want to introduce yourself, say hi to our 5 million listeners.
Hello, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Logan.
Hey, nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
All right, and that's about all the time we have. So but yeah, no, guys, seriously, we're excited that you were able to come on and hang out with us for a bit. I think Logan at your wedding, I think at the end of the night, you're like, "Hey man, where's the podcast been?" So, and your wedding was even quite a bit ago, so it's taken us some time, but we're here and we're happy that you're on with us. So, yeah, should we just kind of hop into it?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess who is Hannah and Logan?
Us? I don't know. We're married and we are Age Creation Films. I'm Age Creation Films and Logan's my little assistant.
Are you paid?
Used to be.
Yeah, I actually did used to
And then
pay.
they got married, and then
So you married him, so you didn't have to pay him anymore.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. You can introduce yourself.
I'm Logan. I help Hannah on the weekends, and then I run my own business Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends if I'm not helping Hannah.
Oh, so what do you do outside of helping Hannah? Like, what is your job?
Construction.
Okay, cool.
So
Very
not
cool.
even close to the same thing, but
No.
It's kind of helpful though to know that. I feel like knowing that those skills is really beneficial, especially if you're like in a house or you're gonna move into a house or something.
well, we're renovating our house right now, so it
That's
is
pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah, I am so clueless when it comes to that stuff. Like, I mean, I can figure it out, but I couldn't tell you what a tool is or like the actual respectable name of a tool. Respectable? What the heck just came out of my mouth?
Respectable.
The actual like names of tools and stuff, I couldn't tell you any of that, but I can figure it out. Ben's pretty good at that stuff too. Ben's kind of the guy I call if I have questions.
YouTube is where I just learn it. I don't know that much stuff.
Oh,
They were hiring.
no.
No.
all right, we're there. Well, dude, it's been so long. I'm like flubbing over all my words. I don't even know what to say.
Okay, so we know you two. Hannah, so you're the head of H Creation, the CEO of H
Yes.
Creation Films.
Some would say she's the H of
I'm
H
the
creation.
age of Age Creation.
Yeah.
So how did H Creation Films start?
My friend asked me to do her wedding because I used to do like I just used to make my friends do videos all the time, like just YouTube videos. And I would do like these summer hype videos, which I don't know, kind of embarrassing now. But you can find them on YouTube if you want to go check them out. And she asked me to do her wedding, and so I did that on my iPhone. And then the next year, I had like three more people ask me, so I did all of those on my iPhone. And then I finally got a camera, and now I've been doing it ever since. And now this is the only thing I do full time
That's
How long
awesome.
have you?
Yeah.
How long have you done it full time?
since last August, so a year-ish.
Nice.
Nice. That's super awesome. There's some good feeling when you leave that 9 to 5. I guess I don't know what you were doing before, where you're just like, I'm gonna go do my own thing, and I don't know. It's such a respectable thing. Respectable is my word today.
Yeah.
But it really is a respectable thing, and like when you're able to go do your craft full time, like as your main job, like that's super special and super awesome. So I know it's been a year, but congrats. I actually don't think I
Yeah.
knew that you were full time. I think that's the first
Yeah.
time I'm learning that. So
Well,
very
before
cool.
I just nannied, so I was still
Oh,
able
okay.
to, like, it was still like not a 9 to 5. I was working weird hours all the time.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was nice when I could just do this on my own and be home every day and work on my own time, kind of, I guess.
Yeah. So we've got two entrepreneurs in the relationship, huh?
Yeah.
Construction and then more of a creative job. Construction's pretty creative, actually. So I take that back. But very cool. Very, very cool. All right.
Yeah, I like that.
So we're going to hop in and talk a little bit about your wedding. Is that cool? I'm sure
Yeah.
that's exciting. Exciting stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So throughout all the planning, the prepping, the everything, so the whole process, what was your favorite part? And they can be different from each
Whole
other. What was your favorite part of the wedding? It could have been planning, could have been the actual wedding. I want to hear from both of you. What was that?
It definitely wasn't planning. I'll say that.
Yeah, I don't know who would say that.
You never
My
know.
favorite part was the planning. As soon as the wedding happened, that wasn't fun.
It wasn't too bad though. I usually know what I want and I'm not too indecisive, so planning wasn't too bad. But I feel like we have the same favorite part, which I know you guys probably know what it is too. And it was definitely the rooftop at night for our private dance. Don't want to be like basic and say that because that's like the obvious answer, but it really was. I was trying to think of something else, but that was really my
No,
part.
yeah, I remember that too, and that is probably one of my favorite That is probably one of my favorite Oh my God.
Meetings. One of my favorite meetings.
That is one of my favorite memories from my wedding career. Not just from your wedding, but from the whole career. Because after your private dance, all the vendors just kind of stay up there, and we had a little dance party
I
of
know,
our
that
own.
was so fun. It was
And
so fun.
yeah, that was awesome. What about you, Logan?
Obviously the same thing, but just to be a little different. Probably the night before. I mean, it's just you have all the nerves before. It's exciting. You're with all your friends. You're gonna be in the wedding the next day. So that was probably the best part besides
True.
the actual wedding day.
Yeah,
I-
but you guys were like crazy the night before. So it's a little different than my experience, but
I've heard that too. Like sometimes the anticipation, the things leading up to the big thing is almost what's super exciting. Cause like once it happens, it's happening. And when like you're before that moment, you're just anticipating it. Everything's leading up to it. And that's kind of what's really special. It's like you've been waiting this long for
yeah.
these things to happen. So I get that answer a lot. I totally get it. But yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot speak words today. And
That's okay.
hopefully it gets better as we go on. But to our listeners out there, sorry.
I think I remember when we walked into your guys' wedding. Like I'd never met Logan. I think it was the wedding day that we met you. I think. And I remember feeling a little nervous. I was like, man, are we gonna be able to break the ice with this guy? But then as soon as we did the groomsmen prep, I feel like that's when we broke the ice. And it was after we did that very first hype pose, I was like, all right, this is gonna be good.
That's exactly what I told Hannah. Like right after the wedding, I think we might have been eating dinner, or maybe we were back in the hotel. And I was like, it was so awesome because I was really worried. Never been in front of the camera, always behind it. And then like we did that first pose, and then I was like, you know what? That actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah, and we came out swinging with that pose too. I remember Ben and I had a conversation because we could tell there may be a little tension with the guys, like not super comfortable in front of the camera. So we're like, I think we just need to come out the gate and like, all right, Logan, you like flip your jacket over your shoulder and just go into your pile of these guys and just start like hyping up like it's a football team or something. And that was super fun.
I didn't know that was the first video. That's awesome. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it was the first thing we did with the guys, like
Nice.
collectively, besides the camcorder, I think. But yeah, that was fun. So in with again with the wedding, like, is there anything that you guys regret?
Regret.
Hey, you got it from here, Ben. I'm out.
I'm honestly not sure
Oh
where
my
the
gosh.
questions went. Yeah. What from your wedding? Is there anything you regret, even if it's like minor things?
Probably having us film their wedding.
Yeah,
huh?
probably hiring your videographer.
No, okay, this is something that this is so minor and it doesn't even matter, but this is the only thing I can think of. I had like these like couple TikToks planned out for the day, and I just didn't even set time aside to do any of them. Like they weren't just like dancey ones, they were like these ones with my friends who are getting married this fall. And so that's literally my only regret is that I forgot to do this.
I get
That's
that.
it.
That kind of stuff can be frustrating when you forget. You have this plan and then you just
Yeah, and
completely
you can't go
slips your
back.
mind.
Like
Yeah.
it's just whatever. It's fine.
But I think that's just kind of a reoccurring thing on a wedding day too. Is just like your mind is in a million different places
Yeah.
all at once. Especially as vendors, our minds are everywhere. I can imagine as a bride and a groom, and you're like, oh, I want to try to do these little TikTok things, but like that's probably the last of your worries.
I literally didn't even cross my mind during the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's probably something that you have to like say, hey, your job is to remember this.
Yeah.
Because you're probably not going to have your phone for like the whole day. I mean, you'll have it for little parts of it, but like you're going to get flooded with notifications all day, so it might just get missed in the...
Yeah. Which that seems like so minor. Honestly, I think we did a good job. And I'm very much a person that's like whatever happens, happens. So I don't really have any regrets. As any actual regrets, because I don't really care about the TikToks, but
What about you, Logan?
You know, I really can't say there's anything I regret. I mean,
no.
there's nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, that's good that you guys don't have anything you regret. We like that answer too. I think the number one thing when you talk to a couple that got married, and I'm not just saying this because we're all videographers here, but I think the biggest thing that is a regret from weddings in general is when the couple doesn't have a videographer for their day because, it's just a whole different beast in its own, and some people might not realize the value of it right away and all that. But yeah, we're just curious if you had kind of anything.
That's why I feel like it's so important to pick, like, I haven't even seen all the stuff you got, but I trust that you got literally everything that I needed to see. So it's like important to pick people that you trust to do that kind of stuff, because I don't know. I wouldn't. So I don't even know what you got, but I don't regret it. So
Yeah, we've talked about that on the podcast before too. It's just like if you're if when we can jump into another question after this, but like if you're a couple, if you're engaged and you're looking, like what should you look for in your vendors? And I think one of the big things that you just touched on is like you want to be able to trust them, you want to be able to know them and all that stuff. But that's a whole other tangent we could go on.
yeah.
So Ben, next question.
Yeah, so what I know you had mentioned this at your guys' wedding. But what were some things or maybe something that you took away from watching us film your wedding?
Okay, hold on. Sorry, I'm choking. Okay. Like specifically, I feel like there's things that I've stolen from you guys already. Like, I bring my GoPro now, like how you guys bring your little camcorder thing. And I feel like I brought that for the past 3 weddings, and I've gotten so much stuff. Like,
Did you just give it to somebody?
I just give it to a bridesmaid or whatever. I can watch it on my phone usually
That's
if
cool.
they're not too far away. And I guess I trust them. I don't know. No one
What,
really goes crazy, but
Which GoPro do you have?
The Hero 7.
So an
It's
older
actually
one.
my dad's because I broke mine, but he let
Oh,
me use it.
I've
um,
got yeah.
but yeah, and then what else? We were talking about it earlier.
Like the interview style.
Oh yeah, we've done interviews now because we like that you did that.
How do
We
you
really
how do you
just
do
like
them?
copied specific things, but
How do you
um,
do the interviews? Same way that we do them?
yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we kind of just ask like general questions,
Do
like
you
how they're
do you
feeling.
hold like a mic up like we do?
I will actually just mic them because I don't have anything, and
Oh,
or I just like will set I think for like Jack and Jordan's, we just like sat it beside Jordan, and it usually is fine. I don't know.
cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I like that.
And
But
by the way, it's not stealing because we've
yeah,
gotten that stuff from someone else too. We haven't
Yeah.
had any groundbreaking original stuff. Like I know Ben got the camcorder idea from I don't remember what
It was some
videographer.
video. I saw them holding like a kid's camcorder they got on Amazon or something. In a
Yeah.
video, I saw them doing that. I was like, wait, that's genius.
And I think the first time Ben did it was at Allie Popkins' wedding, and we were both there, and that's kind of when it started to become like, wait, this is actually something that's doable. And so yeah, there's no real stealing. I mean, there is, but like, just like it's taking something that you saw and you liked and kind of trying to make it your own. So don't,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The word steal just makes me uncomfortable sometimes because
oh,
like
I'm sorry.
I'm not upset that you're using like doing the same stuff we're doing. Like I encourage that. I think that's awesome.
I feel like
But
I used to feel like that until I went to light it up, and then like that was your whole thing. Ben was that you should be stealing.
Steal like an
Yeah.
artist.
hey,
So then I was like, oh,
Let's
okay, I need to
go.
feel better about it.
Yeah, I feel like I steal all the time. I
yeah, you
watch
stole that book from me.
watch a ton of um it's not even just wedding videos, but yeah, I watch wedding videos and I'm like, I'm gonna see what I can do with that.
Yeah, I do that.
Um,
Yeah. And then also, I haven't done this yet, but something I do want to copy, not steal, or I don't know. Is you guys set the camera up behind me when I was walking in, and I thought that was really cool.
Hmm.
I don't know if I noticed. I don't know if I noticed that day of or something, but I thought that was really cool. So I'm gonna take that too sometime.
I feel like it's like a 50-50 chance that someone will or will not stand in front of it.
Be in front of it
Yeah,
like a wedding planner or someone whoever's
Um,
adjusting your dress before you go down. But it's
yeah,
worth. I think it's always worth the shot.
yeah.
But
Yeah. I haven't had. I feel like I haven't even had like the opportunity anywhere that we've been, but
Hmm.
that's even something you could probably get on your GoPro because it's such a
oh,
quick
that's true.
shot. It's like not. I mean, in the case of your wedding, we did end up moving that camera for another angle of your ceremony. But um, yeah, I mean, if you're going specifically for that one shot, it doesn't have to be, you know, 4K or
Yeah.
1080. It can be a GoPro or even a phone shot. Like I've seen people use their phones at weddings and stuff. So um, yeah. Anything else on kind of like the our process of filming? So Ben and I are very similar in what we do. I learned a lot from Ben when I was kind of starting. Um, so we've kind of morphed into almost like the same style, same wedding day shooting, even when we're not together. Is there anything else that you're like, you just took that away and kind of want to try to implement that into your business, or you're
Um,
like,
I think the only other thing that we've talked about, which I feel like you pointed this out more than me, is that you guys have such like a great energy that like the next wedding we went to, we were like, okay, we had to have like way better energy because you guys were like hyping everybody up the whole time. And I don't know, like, not that we don't do that, but we like, you guys made the day. And I really do think it was you guys. Like, there's so much stuff going on, like, made it so relaxed and like made us comfortable.
Hmm.
And so I strive to be like that.
well, thank you. We
yeah,
appreciate that.
I think even just this year is probably one of the first years I go to weddings now. It might just be because this is like my fifth wedding season. So now I'm to the point where I feel like I could almost film a wedding with my eyes closed, but like I feel now I have enough confidence I can go in and I don't care what people say. I'm just gonna do me, and I'm gonna create awesome stuff. And I think that people can sense that like confidence, and they're like, this guy knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
Let's do what he says. If there's any hesitation, then they're just like, yeah, that person doesn't matter.
Mhm. Do you guys know your Enneagram type by any chance?
I'm a 6.
Okay.
I'm really into Enneagrams.
Okay.
You're 6. I feel like I don't know any 6s.
Yeah, it's like the worst one, I'm pretty sure. Literally the only thing that it says about them is that they just worry all the time. Worry and but that they're loyal.
That's you.
And so that is me. And Logan's a 7.
Okay.
You're a 7, Logan?
Yeah, somehow.
All right, man. Team
I
7.
don't
Let's go.
I don't know what 7 is. I think it's extroverted.
Yeah, 7's very much like they can match the energy of like who they're around, but they're very like adventurous and like to try new things and are just like, let's have fun doing whatever we're doing. So I am hardcore type 7 too. So that's cool. That's cool that
Yeah.
you're
That's me.
Oh yeah.
but yeah, I think Ben and I were just on a podcast too that we were talking. It was the Ann and Alice podcast that I mentioned before we started recording, and they kind of brought that up too. And I think a lot to do with like how we approach a wedding day, like with our energy, comes from our Enneagram type, our personality. Ben's a type 9, I'm a type 7, and I think those just mesh really really well together. And like I said, I think the main thing is we just have fun when we're like, we don't really come in with a plan to be like, let's raise the roof in this place. We're just like, let's just go have fun doing what we love to do. And I think that just might kind of spill out
Yeah, it
to
like
everyone.
everybody like absorbs that energy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say though, there's weddings you go to where you throw every pitch you can, and then like it just gets shot down, and it just kills everything. Like I feel like the groomsmen are probably the toughest ones to break.
Yeah.
And if they're just not having it, it can be tough.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point I'm always just like, well, they know what their day was. They know what it's gonna look like.
Exactly.
They don't do anything, so I don't really. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've all been there with just not necessarily a rough experience, but it makes things a little bit more difficult when people aren't super on board for what you're doing, and it kind of makes you feel down a little bit. You're like, okay, like have to kind of shift my focus maybe to something else. And but yeah, you guys weren't like that at all. You guys were like, let's go, let's party. So
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of my Enneagram or our Enneagram, I feel like the more I get into it, the more I start to see my wings. So definitely I encourage you to like learn more about your wing 5 and your wing 7. And same with you, Logan, your wing 8 and your wing 6. I bet there's times where you guys are so similar because like you're wing 6 and you'll be very similar, or you're like 7s because you're so close to each
I
other.
feel like we're good at like flipping. Like if I'm being very 6, he can be very 7. And if he's being a little 6, then I would flip to the other side, like to balance each other out or something. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like if you're worrying, like I won't be worrying. If I'm worrying, then you don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but
No,
yeah,
that makes sense.
makes a lot of sense. All right, let's move on to this next question. Is there anything you do different now at weddings after having your own wedding and seeing what was important to you?
other than the things that I just talked about, I feel like I have a different appreciation for the bride in the morning, like how she's feeling and stuff. So I
Yeah.
actually like not that I didn't, I just didn't I couldn't relate until my wedding, and now I feel like I know how everyone's like feeling, and that's a different. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that makes sense.
That's it though. Otherwise, no.
Is there any like moments that you're like, oh my gosh, this moment was so important to me. Now I understand why I need to get it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I like to mic the groom a lot longer. Like I would keep it on during the first dance since Reed, you
Yeah.
got like, some funny stuff of us, and I usually don't do that.
Talking about brushing your teeth on the
Yeah,
during your first
but
dance.
someone was like roasting me on your
You
TikTok.
can't look at TikTok comments or
No,
Instagram
I
comments if it
don't care
goes.
that much, but I was like,
Yeah,
okay, yikes. But
yeah. People are always looking for something to complain about. Like I've
yeah.
had that happen on the last two TikToks I posted. One literally being a grandpa that wrote a poem
Oh, really?
for his granddaughter, and it was super sweet and emotional. And she didn't really look like she was crying, so people were like tearing her apart about it. I was like,
I feel like that happened to another one of yours. I'm pretty sure it's yours because my friend Morgan knew the couple, and it was like during their first look or something, and people were like going at the bride because she asked like why he didn't cry or something. I don't know.
yeah, it,
And I was like, oh my gosh, like who cares? And maybe if you're like people aren't watching that moment every single weekend, they don't
yeah,
understand how it should be or how it, there's not really
yeah.
how a like certain way it should be, I guess, but I don't
TikTok comments are they're the trenches. Like you can't spend too much time in them because people are gonna be pissed off about anything, even if
know.
it makes
Yeah.
no sense. And you just gotta roll with it. Be like, all right, you can feel however you want to feel, but that's wrong.
I feel like it
But
made me feel like kind of famous or something. I don't know.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. Um. No.
I don't
Is
remember
what
what it was.
about like? Is there any like shots throughout the day that you're like, okay, I didn't really care about? Like, let's say prep, the prep shots. How do you feel about prep shots after having your wedding and doing those like, hey, straighten your tie, put your jacket on.
I think even before our wedding, I started feeling like those aren't, it's not that important if I miss something like that. Not that I want to, but I don't know. Like, I feel like our getting ready stuff was just really fun stuff. Like, we just did like the dancing and everything.
mhm,
But like, n no bride really wants anything of her halfway ready anyways type
Mm-hmm.
thing. So I
right.
just feel like it's not as important, which I already try to tell my brides sometimes like I don't need to be there right when you start getting ready. Like I you don't want me to do all of that. Like I would show up if they wanted me to, but I don't know. Maybe that's not a good answer, but
Yeah, my last highlight film, I actually included no bride or groom prep. I had a shot of
really.
like all the groomsmen kind of just laying on the bed together, and then all the bridesmaids laying on the bed together. But I had no like mom helping her in the dress, no like groom because it just didn't really add to the story,
Mhm.
and it wasn't none of it was genuine. It was all staged. And so I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm just this. I'd rather put something that's like
Yeah,
more genuine.
I think that stuff's nice to get for like absolute backup. Like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
need something to put here. Like the in reality, sometimes you're working on a film and you need something to fill up a little spot. Like you can't always be like the whole film's going to be just this genuine like non-posed type of thing. So it's nice to have that stuff as like backups. But yeah, I'm the same way where I've been like I don't really shoot much of that at all. I'd rather shoot the energy that's in the morning. Like with you, Hannah, you and your girls dancing and like drinking champagne and like hanging out. That was really fun. And like the
Yeah.
things you were doing with the socks and then Logan, you and your guys were just hyping up and just hanging out in the morning. Like that's the cool stuff that I think really speaks more to who the couple is rather than, oh, this really cinematic shot of that last eyelash brush from the makeup artist or doing hair. But um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I think people like, especially watching your guys' videos, they they're not coming to you guys for those shots. They're coming to you for like the energy filled
Mm-hmm.
shots, you know?
Mhm.
So that's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know. I agree. I use it as filler, to be
Mhm.
honest.
And
But,
I just want to know if there is like a makeup artist or a hairstylist that's
oh,
watching this. We're not saying that your art is not important to our video, but your finished art is what's important to our video. Like we're obviously going to get shots of the makeup all done and the hair throughout the entire day and the
yeah.
dress and all that stuff. So it's just more of the act of like when it's happening that doesn't always fit. So I always like to clear the air because sometimes I think it's my type 7 wing 6 that comes in where I kind of worry like what if someone listens to this and that pisses them off. So I always take a step back and I'm like, hey, this is actually what we mean by that. So it's
Yeah.
not taken out of context. But yeah. So as far as like filming and editing goes, is there anything right now that you guys are working on improving into your business, into your craft? Um,
Um,
We can even touch on this ourselves too.
yeah, we're always.
I feel like I'm just always trying to improve. I don't know that I have like one specific thing. I think if you'd watch my videos from the first video to my video now, like every single one improves. I've been,
1000% agree with that, Hannah.
yeah,
Like I remember seeing your early work and what it is now. It's like you have grown so much.
thank
So,
you.
um,
I
yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. I think I told you some stuff earlier, but I try not to actually what I'm focusing on now is trying not to be repetitive. Because like I feel like during wedding season I'm like getting out all these previews every single week and I'm
hmm,
trying not to like be repetitive with them, you know?
right, yeah,
That's my
Yeah.
goal right now. I don't know anything else. Filming wise, I don't know. I think we do a decent job. There's always things. I feel like every single wedding I get home and I'm like, okay, next week we got to do this different. And then the next week there's something else. So I feel like
hmm,
it's just a work in progress always. I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Logan,
think
what about you with
yeah.
shooting?
Um, well, Hannah's been trying to get me to get more of like a different shot, more creative shots because she's obviously getting the most important one. So I'm just trying to get that other angle. And then
Well, this
like,
will be good practice this weekend because Hannah will be like, okay, this
Yeah.
is
that's true.
because you use a tight angle, I assume, right? Like
Yeah.
a yeah.
Mhm.
So then now Hannah will actually get her hands on a tight lens and be like, oh, now I see what's so hard.
Yeah. I'll be a little more sympathetic after.
I
Maybe.
hope so.
I personally like the tighter lens. Like I love when I'm helping Ben. I mean, even when Ben helps me or I help him, like we kind of switch from like lead shooter to co-shooter or whatever. But I kind of like being on that tighter lens. Like I don't know, it forces you to move around and it forces you to like really focus on like composition and different things when you have that wider lens, or if you're shooting on a 24 to 70, like you have that versatility where you can do anything you want. On an 85, you're like, or a tight lens doesn't have to be 85. You're just forced to make it work.
Yeah.
And I think I like the challenge of that. And I love when you get a good shot. I love how that tight shot always looks and like how it combines with the sequence from like if Ben's shooting something at 24 millimeters and I shot something at 85 and how you can connect those when you're editing.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the thing to keep like remember in your head is like, okay, this other person with me is getting the whole shot. So I kind of have to work like, do I shoot just their hands? Do I shoot just their face? Do I shoot their feet?
That's what I always tell Logan, you need to look at me, see what I'm doing, and get something else. Like, don't be getting the exact same thing I'm getting. And we've gotten better at that. That was probably close to
I mean, yeah,
PhD.
Reed and I do that all the time.
Yeah.
We get
Yeah.
the same shots
We'll
sometimes.
look at each other and be like, we'll
Dude,
look at
but
each other's shot and we'll be like, dude, that's the exact same thing. But we shoot in 4K though, so we're able to adjust a little bit of that in post. Like you can punch in a lot further than you can if you're shooting in 1080 or whatever. But um, I think I mean we still make that mistake quite often, but I think we are in a good rhythm when we help each other. We kind of know what to do and what the other one's looking for. So
yeah,
I think that just comes with time too, time and
yeah.
practice.
What about you, Reed? What do you feel like you're trying to improve?
I'm perfect.
Oh.
I don't have anything wrong with mine.
A lot. I don't know. I'm trying to. I would love to get better. I always feel like I struggle with my ceremony setups and my toast setups, like with my 3, 4 cameras. So I am always trying to. Like recently, I've been thinking like, well, what if I move this here, or get a different angle here? Sometimes it's difficult because you just have to work with the environment that you have. So I've definitely been paying way more attention into like my composition of like those still moments, so like the ceremony for example, or the toasts, or like first look, or different things like that. Just really focusing on what that looks like rather than just getting the shot. um, but yeah, I mean that's what I've been kind of noticing that I'm putting a little bit more effort to into on a wedding day.
Yeah, I think as far as the filming, I feel like toast lighting. I'm still like, I feel like I don't have a full grasp of how to properly light. I feel like I just sometimes get lucky with how my light setup looks. And so I'm trying to get a better grasp so I know confidently, okay, this light needs to go there, that light needs to go there. So that's one thing I'm still trying to work on. And then I'd probably say audio. I'm trying to just get really, really good at audio. There's just things that I know nothing. Like compressor is one of the hardest ones. Just using a compressor, it's so confusing. It's like a foreign language.
That's why anything audio, I make Logan learn, and then he can teach me in different words so I can understand.
I feel really confident with recording audio. It's the editing that like I'm like, does this sound good? I think, and I wish I had a more confident like this sounds good.
That makes sense.
Because sometimes when you listen to something so repetitively, you're like, yeah, I think that's right.
And then you come back to it, and it's like, what was I even thinking?
Yeah, or you hear someone else's video, and you're like, oh my gosh, there's just so much. Their audio is so good.
Yeah, me with editing, I think something I'm working on too is just trying to craft more of a story, really diving deep into the toast and the ceremony and the dialogue from the day, and trying to match things up that, you know, if they talk about the same thing or whatever, just really focusing on the uniqueness of the day. Because, I mean, some weddings are very, very traditional and you'll get the typical, not a whole lot unique to it, but kind of challenging myself to dive in more and think maybe creatively on the way things are said or whatever, and formulating that into a story. I've been finding myself spending probably too much time listening and re-listening to all the toasts in the ceremony and the vows and all that stuff. But yeah.
I feel like I'm starting to do that too a little more because I'm just starting to edit highlights where I have decent audio because before, like I didn't have decent audio. So I've been trying to do that a little bit too, but I don't know.
Logan, are you ever going to hop on the editing train one day?
No, you don't want to see it.
I feel like I should have you edit something just for fun and see like what. I think that'd be fun.
You honestly might enjoy it. Like if you enjoy like, this might be totally out of left field, but if you enjoy like construction and stuff, like you like to see like the final product. You like the work that goes in to see what it ends up being. That's exactly what editing is. Like you start from scratch. Like obviously you have all your shots and your audio, but you start you start from scratch. You start from scratch in editing and you just, you know, you use the tools you have to make a video, and then you see that end product, and there's something very cool about that. So I actually think you might like it, especially as a Type 7, just because it's trying something new, and I love trying new stuff. But so maybe take a stab at it once.
No,
maybe
I agree.
Maybe don't say shart on a podcast.
But like when I watch like Hannah's films and stuff, and like she like shows you the process that goes into it, it's just like so amazing to see how Hannah thinks of like the storyline in her head and then like plays it out, because like that's what I think of like after the wedding. It's like, how is that storyline going to go? And like I can never picture it, but Hannah does a great job on it.
Well, I think it's kind of cool. This is random a little bit, but how like if we all had all the same videos, our highlights would all be completely different. Like we would pull something different out of them. So I just wonder like what you would pull out of it differently from what I would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my timeline was just screwed up.
Okay.
Like
I think Ben and I have always wanted to do something like that, since we're a very similar style of shooting and similar style of editing. I think it'd be really fun if we went and shot a wedding and we both took the footage and we edited in a way that we would do it and see how different it would be. I think that'd be really fun, but as you know, that would be a huge time commitment and like editing a video that you actually don't need to be editing right then. But we've done that before. I think it was Halloween of like 2021 or something.
You did that light it up. You played them and everybody voted.
Yeah. Everyone voted for who, Hannah?
I think they voted for you.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure, you know, I wanted to get that out there.
It would be interesting though, because what was that? We had like 15 minutes. So if we have like a week time, it'd be really interesting to
Yeah.
see how different it would get.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Um, You want the next question? You want me to take it? What do you think, Ben?
Yeah. So what is something you wish couples understood about video?
Ooh. I'm gonna go really basic, stereotypical. And I feel like you don't get those moments back. It's just like it happens one time. And I was telling Logan earlier, my mom asked me the other day what Logan said during our first look. And if she would ask me like the week after the wedding, I could have told her, but now I literally have no clue. So it's just nice knowing that I'll get to
Yeah.
know, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so I just think that's very important. It's important to me. I think it should be
Mhm.
important to everybody,
Yeah. I
right?
think seeing those little moments, like your first look, your first dance, stuff like that, it'll help you kind of piece together the day and remember it more
Yeah.
in total.
And you can't go back to it. It's only one time, hopefully. So
Yeah.
but I don't know. That's all I have to say. Do you have anything?
What was it, Tanya? Oh, how much work actually goes into doing a video? Like all the preparation before, like during the wedding day. Like Hannah's obviously like getting the shots or whatever, and then so if we have like speeches or we got to go set up for the ceremony, like I'm off already going to set up for that, and I got to make sure tripods are ready. I got to make sure audio is good to go.
Mhm.
I mean, and like no one sees that. That's all just behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So
There is so many moving parts, let alone shooting a wedding, but also with editing a wedding. But like to stay on the shooting side, it's like people don't see that behind the scenes stuff like you talked about. Like they don't see the tripods we have to set up. They don't see the audio that we have to set up and communicate with the DJ and whoever. They don't, they don't see everything. And it's like, man, the amount of steps that I take in a wedding day, or even the amount I run around trying to get things done in a decent time, is like unbelievable.
Yeah, I wish there's some little bit of forgiveness for like if something goes wrong, because with how many moving parts there are, like you got to be thinking, does this moment need to be mic'd up? Do I need to have two angles of this? Are these cameras recording? Is the temp exposure proper? Like all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's so easy to forget something.
And that's the thing too. I think it'll always kind of be that way too. I think because think of how many hours that we have all spent learning what we do. And it's like, that's hard to relay that to a couple or to guests or to whoever and be like, yeah, man, this just takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort. Like we're looking for some forgiveness if something goes wrong, if Ben doesn't mic the dad during a first look, or if Ben goes and flies the drone during speeches, or
Oh gosh.
but it's just like hard to explain that stuff to people because like we've spent collectively thousands of hours learning all this stuff, and it's like, I don't know, just I wish there was a way to be like, here, take all of what I know so you can know it and then give me a break. But not often are people coming at us with like, oh, we're mad this didn't happen or that. I think a lot of that comes from like the time it takes to edit, but that's another podcast.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing, just not like understanding that it's not photography.
Yeah, that's true. Something I also need to improve on is my return time. Very slow, but I was actually telling Logan, I want to see our video, but I kind of hope you take a really long time because it'll make me feel better for taking a long time to get my videos out.
Well, if it's any comfort, I mean,
Can anyone clip that real quick? So when Hannah comes back in 6 months, she's like, "Hey, where's my video?"
Yeah, if it's any comfort, Reed and I are both working on weddings that were from a year ago.
I'll back myself up a little bit. I'm in November, but I'm finishing up.
It does make me feel a little better. I don't have a lot of people mad because I try to keep people in the loop as much as possible, but
yeah, ideally I'd be at 6 months or less, which I'm hoping I will be at that by this time next year. I'm hoping I'm like 3 months behind, but
Yeah.
um, yeah,
I
COVID
think,
really affected both of
yeah.
us.
Do you think, Hannah, when did you start like officially filming weddings? 2020? 2021?
No, I think it'd be 4 years ago. What is that? When
Oh,
is,
nice.
20.
2018?
but like the first year I did it was just one on my, so I
Yeah.
don't, it was kind of like 3 years because I didn't really,
That's a
So
good
would you
one.
say,
that took me a long time.
how would you say that COVID kind of affected your business? Because Ben and I could talk forever about how COVID kind of put us in the spot we're at now. And we could complain forever, but
Um,
I want to hear from someone else that's in the industry.
I will say it's kind of hard because I was just still kind of growing and I
Hmm.
was just booking weddings at that time from people that just already knew me. I think I had one person postpone. And the rest of them kept their wedding dates. But I just don't think I had any weddings booked that spring, maybe
Hmm.
like one. And so
Hmm.
I didn't get affected as much as other people. Because then
Okay.
by the fall, I don't think anybody canceled. I don't know if you guys still had people like pushing by that fall, but I didn't.
I just filmed a post COVID reschedule just in August.
Yeah, I had one in July, I think. Yeah. So yeah, there's still a reflection, but I think what was the hardest is like when it started coming down to now we're having a bunch of Friday, Saturday weddings because,
Yeah.
well, I have to reschedule, but we want the Saturday, but we can't get it, so we're gonna do it Friday. And then it's like, well, I already have a wedding Saturday, so then it's just these double headers, and then the teasers take a couple days to edit, and then that fills your week, even a week and a half, and then it's like
Yes.
you can't get to the full film, and it's just like it's it just really put us in a tough spot. But I think we're both getting out of it slowly.
Yeah, I feel like I'm starting to see like I feel like the I can see the end of the tunnel, but it's really really far away, but I can see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little overexposed because you can't make any
Yeah.
detail out there. Yeah, but all right, cool. Yeah, like I said, we could talk about COVID and how it affected stuff forever, but
Yeah.
that's old news. Um, so yeah, where do you guys get inspiration from your films? It can, but it doesn't have to be other wedding videographers. Like I know Ben gets composition ideas from movies. I get, I'm the same way from movies, or like music can influence how I do different things. And so I'm just curious.
Um, I don't know. What did I say earlier? I literally sometimes if I
Movies.
have no, yeah, I'll talk about that. But if I have no motivation, I just like get on my Apple TV and I'll go to like one of your guys' YouTube channel or like Travis and Joni or Bottle Brush, and I just watch them like it's a
Yeah.
show. Like I just
Hmm.
go through the whole playlist, and I feel like that even if that's not giving me any new ideas, it's like motivating me a little bit to like, oh, that was really cool. Like I want to do something really cool. And then also definitely movies and shows. I binge watch literally everything. Like I'm continuously watching stuff all the time. And I have an actual example, and this might be like people might make fun of me, but I don't know if you guys have watched Twilight, but the wedding scene in Twilight, like on my list on my phone of poses, I have like 5 poses that are just from like the wedding, like the introduction of Breaking Dawn. I don't know.
I'm gonna write that down right now.
Yeah, I want to.
There's like
Wanna...
this super cool shot of her. I don't know. It literally like reminds me of a actual like just a wedding video, not even a movie.
Hmm.
But and I just like The Handmaid's Tale, obviously not like a happy show, but like I was just telling Logan the other day, they like had I just like pay attention to like how the camera's moving kind of,
Hmm.
and so I think
Exactly.
I get some inspiration from that.
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
think I even think a lot of inspiration is kind of like subconscious. Like we take it in subconsciously. Like we don't really know. Like we're just surrounded by so much media and so much stuff that's like almost overstimulating. But I think we grab stuff from that and it's just keep it in the back of our head and we
Yeah,
somehow formulate that. But because I can't sit here, I couldn't pick a TV show that I watched and be like, this is where I got that idea. I wish I could because that's cool. It'd be fun to go look back at that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But um, maybe that's just my memory being terrible.
I don't know. I like watch shows like 50 times. Like I just keep rewatching them. And so I think usually my second time through is when I'm noticing like the camera stuff. And then I just like
Hmm.
write down this angle from Twilight, and then I can remember what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
I think there's like a website out there. I don't know what it's called, but I think Landon, by the way, suggested it. It's like just a bunch of screenshots from movies and scenes and stuff, and you can almost
Yeah.
like build out a storyboard. I think it costs money to do, but I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Like just being able to have it to reference it and go back and, but yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah, I'd say I get some inspiration from like music videos.
Oh yeah.
Just sometimes the way they transition stuff or the way they film the subject. Movies for sure.
Yep. Super
Um,
influential.
I feel like I've really been getting into documentaries recently. The way they like tell stories in documentaries, how they'll use like terrible footage but still make it really intriguing.
Netflix is so good at making documentaries. I
Yeah,
talk about it all the time. Like they literally used, I don't know if you guys are into true crime or anything, but the Chris Watts documentary on Netflix is literally all iPhone footage, and it's super good because they just
I have
like
to
use
watch that.
people's like, I don't know, it's really cool.
Mhm.
Did you watch that with me? Yeah,
Hmm.
it's
I
cool.
think that just goes to show, and like we tell people this all the time, it's like we think that dialogue, the story, audio, all that stuff is more. Gosh, my I keep moving my desk.
Gosh, that just
W-
gave me a great idea. I'm gonna give you guys this idea. Well, okay, finish what you're saying. Then
it's gone.
you forgot it already.
It's gone. It's out. I told you my memory's
Okay,
trash.
well here's the here's the idea. So you create like a Dropbox folder, or I don't know if it's a Dropbox folder, or some sort of online thing that's really easy to use. Like it has to be easy to use, or no one's gonna do it. But then, literally like Sunday or like Monday, right after the wedding, you send this to the couple, and you're like, "Hey, send this to anybody, all of your wedding gifts, all of them, and just say upload all the footage to that Dropbox folder." Then it'll like almost give you like camcorder footage from all
Yeah,
these different perspectives rather than
You,
having to worry about a camcorder. But
you
you'd
want
have
to,
to,
yeah, you want to be careful with that too. So Uncle Bob doesn't stick his phone out during the middle of the ceremony and ruin your shot. You don't
you
want
had
to.
to like tell them after. You couldn't tell
yeah,
them.
you
Yeah,
wouldn't.
you don't want to encourage it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
but
I had a
I'm
bride.
gonna try that.
I met with a bride last night, and she told me she was gonna vlog her whole day, and that she'd send it to me after. And I was like, okay, that
That'd
That's
was
be
fine.
cool.
cool.
That's fun. Yeah, I think that'd be a perfect way to like get something different too, is like really lean into that vlog type thing that she
Yeah,
wants to do. Like if that's your focus of the film, I think you can get, stuff you've never gotten before.
right.
It's all about gosh, what's his name? Floberg. Eric Floberg. Do you
Mm,
know who that is?
Yeah,
He's got one of my favorite quotes. I've wanted to get a tattoo forever, and I think Ben's the one that told me about the quote or told me about the podcast he was on or something. But just lean into what makes you different. So just kind of think about like you got to lean into what you're given, especially on a wedding day. And if you're given a golden opportunity like that of a vlog, like man, take that and run with it. That's
yeah,
pretty cool. Um,
definitely.
I remember what I was saying. I was saying that the audio and dialogue and the storyline of a film, it doesn't have to be a wedding film, is I will even say it's more important than the visual side of things. Like you said, you can film
Mm.
something on a crappy iPhone, but you can still tell a good story, and then you're still going to have an audience. People are going to watch. People are going
Yeah,
to listen. And um, I wouldn't say it's like way more important, but it's definitely more important because like the visual side of things too is fun. That's what makes things like
yeah.
cinematic. But
yeah,
um,
I think I feel like lately I've gotten so comfortable with being able to use just like not great footage that like if I
yeah,
miss a shot with like, oh, mom giving the groom a hug, and I'm like, man, I really need this shot, what I'll do is I'll be like, hey, do you have just like a photo of you hugging your mom? And I'll just have her have him send it, and I'll somehow turn it into something visually pleasing,
yeah, I
which is
actually
maybe
just
not a good thing.
no, I think you're really good at that. I was telling somebody about that the other day, actually. I think you're good at that, like pulling stuff in
I think
from,
it's about trying to make it consistent with the other rest of the film,
yeah,
yeah.
which can sometimes be tricky, but
I just did that in the last teaser I posted. They talked about in the bride's vows, she talked about how they've been together for 13 years and this. And I texted her literally when I was editing. I was like, hey, do you have any photos from like the very beginning of your relationship? She sent them over, and I was able to use those in the film in a way that
yeah,
was like, you know, kind of enhance the story a little bit. Because like there's one thing that she's saying that, and obviously, but when you add that visual, like the visual side of things is more of like the cherry on top. It
Yeah.
connects everything really well. But yeah, that's super cool. My mic keeps cutting out, so I hope this audio is good.
I think it sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Um,
Yeah. What's
Ben,
up?
didn't you just do one? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know which one of you it was, but one where they had someone like their engagement video or something. Wasn't that?
Oh yeah, that one was I did like a save the date video with them back in like 2020.
No, like no, they're actually like when they're getting engaged. It was like a just like an iPhone video. I feel like one of you guys did that
Oh,
at some point.
I had a film where I put a photo of them
Hmm.
getting engaged.
Maybe I don't know. I feel like
Why do I feel like I know what you're talking about though, and I feel like it was
was it
neither of us.
recent?
maybe it was I don't know. I don't think it was. Could have been. I don't know.
It was video
Honestly,
footage of
it's
their
probably something that's been
engagement
on
though.
Instagram. Yeah, like they were getting engaged. Like she was like walking up, and it was like dark, and it was like lights. They were in like a yard or something.
Oh, I did use that in a recent one. Yeah,
You did?
I had
Okay.
them send me that footage. That was like the very start of the video.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Okay. I feel like I was crazy
Yeah,
for a second.
because we watched that together.
Yeah.
and then there was I remember there were specific shots I used that I was like, I think he said something like he had lights hanging up, and there was just like this terrible, like the person who was filming just had their phone like this, but it was pointed towards the lights. So like, oh, I'm gonna put that shot right next to this one and make it look like it's all together. But yeah, that's really fun to do, even like when
Yeah.
you can use that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And I think
awesome.
that's the kind of thing that like enhances your films too. Is like that's 100% thinking creatively and
Mhm.
thinking outside of, you know,
Ac-
that's getting something that you weren't given. That's like reaching outside of the box and like, hey, is there any way I can get this kind of footage from forever ago?
Yeah.
And you know, so
Yeah, and I think I got
cool
that
stuff.
inspiration from Eric Floberg because in one of his wedding videos, he used like security camera footage of like
Oh,
the couple or something. It was like they had like a webcam in their house and they had like footage, and so he used it in a film. And I was like, dude,
that's cool.
that's
Yeah.
genius.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Shout out, Eric.
Yeah, he's a listener.
Anytime someone's mentioned more than one time, we have to keep giving him a shout out. Maybe
You guys
maybe
gave me a
he'll,
shout out the first time, and I felt like really cool. This was like what, like years ago.
Did
I was
we?
like, oh my God, they know who I am.
Oh, we pay attention to the wedding industry,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We've got
especially I feel
we've
like
got her.
I
You
feel
remember
like
that?
there's not a ton of female videographers.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, not really. Not. I don't know that
So it's
many.
cool. Have you talked to any female videographers?
I haven't like actually like met up or talked to anybody, but the Leah Rose, do you
Mhm.
guys know?
Yep.
I
She
haven't
goes
seen.
talk to me sometimes. She's cool. That's really the only person I've actually talked to, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, I know Madison lives in Cedar Rapids.
Madison Lynn, she'd be a good one to
Yes.
talk to. Abby Lee, Abby Lee. I don't know how to say her middle name, but
It's spelled like Lee. I feel like
yeah,
it should be
it's
Lee.
Abby Anderson.
Yeah.
She's really really good at what she does too, and she's yeah,
I
like
follow
what
them. I just don't know them.
maybe
But
you can count on maybe two hands the amount of female videographers there are in the industry, at least in Iowa.
yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe you only need 1.5 hands. I don't
I'm
know.
actually in a group on Facebook where they like female videographer. I don't know
Female.
what it's called.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's
And
cool.
I don't think they're all, I don't think it's an Iowa thing. I think it's just a group. But Leah, I'm pretty sure Leah started it. So
Oh yeah, that's very cool. Well, I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to touch base on? We kind of have this thing
Do you
we
have
do
any
at the end.
questions for us?
Yeah,
let me think. Let me think.
yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think of a question you probably haven't got before. Okay, you probably have got this question before actually, but it's okay. If you could, if you were like right after your first wedding, if you could go back and tell yourself something, what would you tell yourself? Or right after your first like few weddings, or
That's a good question.
maybe it's a bad question because you don't have an answer.
No, that's really good. Like a question that makes you think and have to stop and think is a good question.
Good job, boys.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think back to my first couple of weddings. What did differently. I think I thought like the gimbal is like so important. I used to think that.
You always
Yeah.
used to say like it's like an extension of my arm. Like for
I
some
mean, I
reason
still kind of feel like that when I
that's a
use it,
piece that you
but
say that always just sticks with me.
um,
Oh man.
I think
Nothing there.
Pro- Probably if I could tell myself, I'd be like, there's gonna be stressful moments in this job. If you keep going, there's gonna be some hardships. There's gonna be stressful moments, but the fun filled, the joyful, the all of that kind of stuff, the just the energy from every wedding will always outweigh that stuff. And I think when I first started, I kind of started to get discouraged a little bit when I hit those stressful moments, and then oh, the what's the thing called when you feel like you copy people?
Imposter.
Imposter syndrome. I had that very early on and stuff, and just I wish I could tell myself like you just gotta push through it. I mean, I did, but I think if I knew what it is now, I think it would have been a lot easier to
Yeah.
get through and keep going. But I don't know. Maybe that's not the direction you were
yeah.
hoping that
No,
answer
I think
would
that's
go.
good
But
advice.
yeah,
I think that's
I'd
good.
probably tell myself charge more. That'd be the first thing. I charged so little for like 3 years, like less than 1,500 for like 3 years.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good.
and another thing, I think early on I got caught up in like trying to get as many cinematic shots as I could get. And now I feel like I have way more appreciation for the genuine, unstaged moments. Like I feel way better when I leave a wedding knowing I didn't have to like pose the couple a lot.
Yeah.
They just they just did their thing, and I got incredible footage. So I think making sure I put more energy into getting more of those shots, like let the camera just keep rolling, stuff like that.
I feel like not to take away from that, but I feel like it was like not trendy. Like the trend was to be super cinematic like three
Yeah,
years ago, and like it's like evolving a little bit. And so I was
yeah,
like,
definitely.
but yeah, I don't know.
yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I was trying to think while you guys were talking. I don't know.
It's a
I
tough
think,
question.
yeah, it is. Hmm.
I wish I would have put more focus on audio earlier on in my
Yeah,
career.
Me too. I think I also
I agree
wish
with
I would
that.
have put way more effort into building a relationship with the couple that I was working with. Because my
Yes.
first 5+, I was like, I showed up on the wedding day, and that's the first time I met them or even talked to them. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I
And you
wish
can
I.
tell you can tell the difference when you do that. Like
Hmm.
I feel like it makes a difference in the groom most of all. Like if they've met you before, they're just like it's like a 180 if like they'll talk to you and stuff rather than I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that makes a huge difference. We talk about that a lot.
yeah. I actually just got couples. Gosh, I was gonna say I just got couples with a drink last night. I just got drinks with a couple last night that I'm filming this weekend, and I
Hmm.
mean we video chatted before, but there's also something about meeting in person that's just so much better. And I feel so confident going into their wedding day already. Like just because we hung out, we talked, we weren't just talking about their wedding. We were talking about us as people and what we like
Yeah.
and wherever the conversation went. But yeah, that I wish I knew that right away because I think I could have, grew a lot faster
Yeah.
if that was the case. But
I agree with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't know. That's all I have.
All
Do you
right,
have any questions?
Logan, awfully quiet over there in that corner.
All right. What would you guys be doing
Oh,
if your career didn't take off in the wedding industry?
Gosh, that's a
I would be working as a marketing coordinator, or I would be doing graphic design for a 9 to 5 corporate job. And I would probably be super down. I'd probably hate my life a little bit. Not that having a 9 to 5 is awful, but for me and for who I am, like that sucked and it was draining and sucked the life out of me. And now I'm doing something finally that, Ben has a tattoo that says "Do the things that make you come alive," and now we're doing something that makes us
Yeah.
feel alive, right? But like I said, just to touch base, there's no hard feelings with 9 to 5 jobs if you have a 9 to 5 job. Like
Yeah, screw you if you have a
and
9 to 5
yeah,
job.
screw you guys. And that works for some people, and that's great because there is a lot of things that we have to give up for what we do. We have to give up a lot of free time, a lot of weekends, a lot of all this stuff. But
Sure.
yeah, probably just some type of marketing, graphic design sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd probably be working for my dad as an EMT or paramedic, working in the
Okay.
medical field. That's what I was doing before, kind of before this. But I think I was doing it because my dad did it, like thinking I needed to follow his footsteps. I'd probably be fulfilled, like I feel like I was doing something good, but I don't think I would have been happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What about you? If you weren't doing construction, you weren't doing video.
Probably something in finances.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I went to school for, but I mean, numbers are so much fun.
That's what I started going to school for. I was a finance and real estate major, and I hated it.
Yeah, because I was gonna go to be an accountant, and then I took accounting 1 and 2, and I absolutely hated my life in those classes,
Mm.
and it was not fun. So I switched to finances, and then I switched from finances to entrepreneurship, and I opened up my own business.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hannah?
I don't know, to be honest. I think I was like on a path where I didn't know what I was gonna do and I was panicking. So I'm glad that honestly this kind of fell into my lap at first. Because I don't know. I went to school for graphic design, but I can't say that I loved it,
Mm.
which you think everyone kind of thinks this is very similar. I feel like it's not, but I don't I don't know. I'm sorry that's not a very good answer, but I don't think
Do you
I'm
have
sure I would have figured it out, but
Do you have like an ultimate dream job? Like if everything was attainable, everything is attainable, but if it was just easy at the reach of your hand, what would that dream job be? Or are you doing it? Are you living it?
I think I'm like not completely living it, but I would definitely want to do something similar if
Mhm.
I would honestly just want to do this for fun. That's what I would want to do with my life. Just like travel and make video. I don't know. I don't want to be like a YouTube vlogger, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Something in this industry. I'm telling you, I'm glad that I do this because I have no idea what I I don't know what I would be doing. I don't know. So I'm glad
Yeah.
I like what I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always good. That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Ben, do you
Yeah.
have a dream job outside of this?
I mean, yeah, I think it'd be fun to make travel videos. Just like have, I don't
People
even know,
pay for you to
travel
travel.
companies are like, hey, can you go make this sick video of this
Oh, okay,
this
yeah.
resort? That'd be awesome. I mean, you literally just go to, they pay for your trip to the resort and you make just this sick. You do all the fun things there and you film it and then make a video. Like, that would be so
Well,
fun.
We'll have to try to make a travel video when we go to San Diego next month now. On top of the work we're actually supposed to be doing, but
What are
Yeah.
you guys doing there? I saw you post about it.
Grace T is actually flying us out there to film her retreat.
Oh, that'll be awesome.
So yeah, that'll be fun. No, but the whole thing with the filming travel videos, like it would be super fun, but I think long term I wouldn't feel as fulfilled because those videos would eventually just become irrelevant. So I
Yeah.
think doing weddings is honestly what I was made to do. Like I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I think they said the average life of a wedding videographer is like 6 years or something. And that's next year technically. But I don't see myself, like I'm still trying to like push the limit. So yeah, I mean I love what I do. I just don't know if I can still do it after like 50.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll have to come up with like a backup plan.
I'm hoping when I'm like 50, Logan's made enough money that I can just,
Be done, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that would
You
be
better
nice.
keep working.
pressure's on, Logan.
You better keep working.
Uh,
Um, No, that's cool. So usually how we kind of wrap these up, you said you listen, is we kind of talk about something that has recently inspired us. Usually it's like from the last week, but since we've been MIA for 6-7 months, it can be, it can be a long time. Like what's inspired you semi recently. It doesn't have to be in the last couple days, but and you can get creative if you want. If Ben goes off the rails and does some crazy stuff which ends up making sense in the end, but I don't know how he does it. But yeah, what's something that for the both of you that's just been inspiring? It doesn't have to be work related either. Just
Logan has a good one that he told me today that I thought was interesting.
So recently, I've been really inspired by coffee
Oh, okay,
Okay.
cool.
because like just like this morning, I had to be up early. It's like the moment I woke up, I wanted to get out of bed. So I was like, I really want to go make some coffee because it's just been like so good the past week that I'm like, I need to go get this certain kind of coffee.
yeah,
It's just a K cup.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
dude. You want to know what will change your life forever if you enjoy K cups?
What?
Start making pour over coffee. Like get a Chemex, the thing that kind of looks like
Yeah.
A beaker.
a beaker, and you start making pour over coffee.
Or a flask,
One,
yeah.
it tastes better. And two, the process of doing it, you're like, this is so cool. Like you feel so cool when you're doing it. So I get what you're saying. And I know that if you started doing pour over coffee, you'd be like, wow, I love this. So
Oh, that's cool.
maybe
I
look
will
into
say,
that.
like, when you wake up and you get a coffee or whatever, like, I feel like I have my life together. I'm like, you know what? This is gonna be a productive day. I have my coffee.
That's awesome.
It's like one of those shirts like, don't talk to me till I have my coffee
Yeah.
or something.
We have caffeine addiction in this house, so I don't know.
I used to be really, really addicted to caffeine and coffee. So I still drink coffee quite a bit, but I used to like down half a pot or a pot when I was like in college. Like that was the only thing that could get me through an entire day. Because I like had meetings at 7 a.m. all the way till like 10:30 at night, and I just needed so much. But yeah, coffee's a good one. What about you, Hannah? Can't say the same thing.
I wouldn't. Actually, I don't even actually like coffee, just so everyone knows here. I just like really watered down coffee. But I don't have anything good. I was gonna say like when we get stuff done in our house, I feel very productive and very like inspired because it's been a long process, so we're not even close to done.
Mhm.
Also, this one's like I don't know. I really am into making playlists, so I like to make certain playlists that this is just something I've been doing recently. And like they have specific names and I put a picture and then I don't know, like they match like a vibe. Like I have an autumn one and then I play it and I feel so good about my life because I just made this long
Okay,
playlist.
that's
And
cool.
so yeah, that's
That's
one
cool.
thing.
I love that too. I've tried that multiple times, like making different playlists, but I get frustrated. Like if I put one in there that just doesn't fit, I'm like, I'm terrible at this. I can't do this.
Well, that's what like as I'm playing through it, I'm like, oh, never mind. I don't know why I added this song, so then I just
Yeah.
delete it. Like I literally look on Pinterest like playlists and I look through the songs. I'm like, oh, that's a good song, and then I go
Oh,
add it
that's a
to
good
my
idea. Looking on Pinterest. I like that. Yeah, that's a good one. It's
okay.
not a bad one at
And
all.
is this like Spotify or what is this?
I use Apple Music.
Oh, okay,
Everybody
cool.
hates my Apple Music, but
Yeah.
I like
See,
it.
Ben and I use everything Apple, but I think both of us use Spotify, and I don't know. That's the one thing. I think that's what makes you the ultimate Apple fan is when you
Yeah.
use Apple Music too, or like Apple Maps. It sucks. Come on. I love Google Maps so much more, but
I never use Google Maps. I hate Google Maps.
Oh
man,
gosh.
it'll change. It'll
I feel
change
like
your
Google
life.
Maps, the benefit I like Google Maps because you get the reviews and everything
Okay.
about it.
I just
Um,
don't have it downloaded to my phone, and so I hate when it pops up on the internet. That's why I don't like it. And it just automatically goes to my little app. So I don't know.
Maybe next time you have to go somewhere you don't know how to get to, just try Google Maps and you'll be like,
Okay, I
whoa.
will.
I think
I'll let you
Google
guys
has
know.
does a better job of routing the correct
Oh, I
thing.
could see that.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
yeah, we're big with Google. We have Google displays that literally will like talk to us.
I've lived here for a month and a half and I still haven't plugged one
Yeah.
in.
I literally have Googles all over my house, and I will like tell it to turn on things and like, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
His brother's house is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his
All right.
brother's house is like straight all Google, everything being ran from his phone, from temperature, the lights, the cameras outside, everything.
Oh, that's cool. If I didn't have an iPhone, I'd probably do a Google Pixel. Not gonna lie, but I love iPhone.
Yeah, I don't know if I would ever be able to go back to something that's
Have you
Yeah.
ever airdropped anything to your phone yet?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
Does it change the
It's
game?
life changing.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I was telling you that, wasn't I?
Mhm.
Because I literally haven't been able to post a preview on Instagram. There's no way to post on Instagram from your computer, is there? Am I missing something?
I think you
actually
can.
can if you do Creator Studio. So do you have a Facebook
I think you can do it
page?
from Instagram.
So you have
like
to do
the-
it from Facebook, though?
I think you can
Well,
do it
you-
from Instagram.
You used to have to do it through Creator Studio, which is like it's technically Facebook, but Facebook owns Instagram. So
That's how I
there was-
post my Facebook videos, is through Creator Studio.
Yeah. And there was a way, and I'm sure there still is a way to post it from the computer. There might be Instagram might have updated where you can post from your computer now too.
Okay.
But we have a
But-
friend
I'll get
that uses a PC, and he just drops everything to a Dropbox folder, and then he gets it on his phone.
That's what I do.
I've got beef. I've got beef with Dropbox anyway. I could never do that.
But now you don't. You'd only need to, airdrop it to your phone.
Yeah, I know. It's nice.
For the listeners out there, Hannah bought my old iMac, not old iMac, but my iMac that I had previously, and now she's understanding the love of editing and AirDrop and all the stuff that Apple products have to offer as a creative.
Yes.
So, yeah. What about you, Ben? What's something that's inspired you? I've been waiting 7 months. For
I'm
this
lucky
moment.
I had something sitting right next to me.
No.
No, this will actually be cool. And I
Is
honestly
it your
think
Capri Sun?
that was my first option, and then I was like, that's not good enough. Okay, so there's this game. I actually learned about it from Eric Osborne.
Shout out, Eric.
And it's called the And. And the actual thing is, it's called the Skin Deep. Essentially what this game is, and there's different versions. There's a stranger's version. There's like a long-term couples version. There's a dating version. There's a family version. Essentially what it is it's a game where you just have to you essentially get to know the person. So let me just ask one question. What's a personality trait you wish you had more of, and why? And you literally will just sit there and talk. So me and Lauren have this one that's called long-term dating relationship, or long-term, and it has questions like what how have I changed since we started, how has my personality changed since we started since we've been together, and just little things like that. And it's surprising how good you feel after you get done talking to somebody like that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to utilize it with my couples now to break this. There's always this barrier whenever we're talking to couples. It's like you're just scratching the surface of this relationship, and I hate that. And so I try to break it so I feel like I'm talking to a friend by the end. I do it with every consultation. I try to be laughing and comfortable, and I felt like I try to be myself by the end of the conversation rather than a sales pitch. So I think I don't remember where I had them. Oh, here. I think these are a couple questions I was going to ask couples. And sometimes asking these questions can be really uncomfortable, but I think it can really, if they can get the answers going, then I think it can break it. So here's one. It says, if we never meet again, what is one thing you'd like me to take away from this meeting? What do you want me to remember about you, your personality? What's a moment in your life you wish you could relive over and over again? It doesn't have to be wedding related. I think there's questions there's ones that are really uncomfortable. When was the last time you cried and why? So I think just asking some of those questions, I think, can really break the ice with people and build this stronger relationship.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
should
that's
get.
a cool one.
I feel like not the like this is just gonna make our relationship sound kind of bad. But like you end up having the same conversations, like you're just talking about your day, whatever. It'd be kind of nice to just have like a random question, I don't know. Like not that our
What are you trying to
conversations are
say?
boring, but
No, I literally tell Lauren, like, I haven't told her this in a while, but I remember it was probably like last year I told her this. I was like, why do I feel like I don't know you? Like, I feel like if Lauren and I were to play, that game that they sometimes play at weddings where, like, you have to, like, write on a board and you have to make sure it's the right answer. Like, what is her favorite? I feel like if we play that game, I'd be so bad at it. There's just, like, little things I feel like I don't know. And so I kind of got
I
this
feel like
game.
after you're together for a long time, you forget to like ask or talk about it or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Not
you guys should get this
necessarily.
game. I think you guys would really like it. So like Lauren and I, when we went on our like an anniversary dinner, we just sat at the dinner table and played it. And even with Reed, we were in the car driving, and I just was like, "All right, ask me another one."
No.
Yeah. Me and Ben know everything about each other though, so
Yeah.
just kidding.
That's a good game for like me, Morgan, and Tyler. We'd be good at that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So Reed, what about you?
So I signed up for my very first ever 5K race. It's not to get too deep, but I've had heart issues recently, like over the last year, and just kind of need to focus on my physical health a little bit more. Not that if I don't focus on my physical health, something bad's gonna happen, but it will help improve what's been going on. So I was like, I've been decently active my whole life and whatever. But I was like, I just want to start running. I want to try running. And I am someone that needs something to look forward to continue something and be consistent with it. So I'm like, I'm gonna sign up for a 5K. I've never done one before. It's like a Hertz donut one. So at the end you get a donut. So I'm like I am looking forward to that donut.
Yeah.
But so I've been training for that the last couple weeks, and it's I don't know, something about running has been like inspiring to me. Like I feel good sometimes when I'm doing it, and kind of almost like that runner's high. Like I'm getting creative ideas and some inspiration stuff. So I don't know. I think to sum that up, because I didn't really answer the question, I'd say like having something to look forward to, like a goal to do, is pretty inspiring, whether that's work related, whatever. And for me, it just happens to be running. So, yeah.
No,
That's
I
a
like
good
that.
answer.
That is kind of
Yeah.
inspiring, though. Even like knowing you did that, I'm like, dang, maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to exercise.
I texted you. I asked some people. I was like, "Does anyone want to do this with me?" I've got a couple friends that are doing it, but you have a wedding on that day, the day of the race. But and the kicker of it is I only have like a month to train for it, so it's kind of like the couch to 5K type of thing. But like I said, I've been decently active and decently healthy for a long time. I'm just not perfect, not in running shape, I guess. But yeah,
That's awesome.
cool. Very cool. Anything else before we close it out? I
I don't think so.
I think this is pretty good, pretty well, pretty fun.
I like it. Let's all stand up really quick. Stand up. And just like I'm gonna put my headphones in. We're just gonna spin around in a circle, all of us.
Oh, I'm like not wearing the fit. But okay.
And everybody, I wish I can't hear, but just like make a noise while you're spinning.
I'm keeping
Okay.
the headphones on.
Gosh, I'm gonna get tangled up.
Just be smart with it.
Okay, ready, set, and go.
We keep going?
I feel like I'm dancing with my headphones. Okay, we're good.
I'm tangled. Anyways, thank you everybody for tuning in to this episode of the Creative Crunch Podcast with Hannah and Logan Belzer of H Creation Films. And we will probably see you in another 6 months. So, bye.
Yay.